is Socially Speaking. I just want to take a minute to share with you our commentary from the other side of the tracks. Yes. Welcome back to Socially Speaking. Well, this is our commentary this week. It's entitled President Illness. Well, you wonder about why some people are still giving Donald Trump a measure of support. His approval ratings now about 43%, I believe, somewhere around there, 41, 43. And he got a bump from Republicans when the Mueller report came out. Now, there's some news outlets saying that nothing has changed. But the findings have been made public, sort of, and Donald Trump, your so-called president, is running around the country holding rallies and talking about he's won. Matter of fact, he had a rally in Michigan, and he said this about...
The Democrats have to now decide whether they will continue defrauding the public with ridiculous bullshit. And after 3 years of lies and smears and slander, the Russia hoax is finally dead. The collusion delusion is over. Total exoneration, complete vindication, and all of the current and former officials who paid for, promoted.
Well, for me, the so-called president's pretty much done what he's done ever since he began running for president, and that's sold you a bill of goods, a carnival barker at best. He's told a story that does not exist. Of course, it's been said all over, news outlets, through political analysts, even political satirists, that he's not out of the woods yet. So only the most bare-bone details from the special counsel's work were released last week, and a 4-page summary from a 380-page report, at least it's reported, that William Barr submitted to the American public. 4 pages out of 380 pages of an investigation. You ought to be pretty suspicious. I think most of us in the country are. As much as we're trying to ignore this, or as much as we're trying to sweep it under the rug, or as much as we're trying to support Donald Trump, and I don't know who the hell that might be. But the fact of the matter is, no one can deny that this whole deal looks fishy, this investigation. And Donald Trump, your so-called president, he says he's fine with releasing the full report. Really? Do you really believe Donald Trump? After all the lies that he's told, after all of the deceptions he's put in place, after all of the obstruction he's engaged in. This is what I know about Donald Trump and Bill Barr, the Attorney General, who has the purview to bring charges against Donald Trump. You get the Attorney General you pay for. Just that simple. A 380-page report synthesized into 4 pages in 2 days? Get the fuck out of here. You gotta be kidding me. So, the Mueller investigation revealed a lot. I'll say that much. What is a lot? A lot is, we know there's a lot of mofos running around this country committing crimes, violating the law. And it's a lot of white male criminals in this country. When you look at all the convictions that Robert Mueller pulled out of this hat, all the dead rabbits he pulled out, you know that it's a lot of corruption. Your so-called president, Donald Trump, he's surrounded himself with some of the most idiotic, ignorant, weak-willed, sorry folks you could ever find. Why? Because they've allowed themselves to let greed lead them off the edge of a cliff. Donald Trump made them promises, all kinds of pie-in-the-sky promises, and all they ended up with is prison time. Donald Trump has told the truth when he shouldn't, and he lied when he shouldn't have. So he's pretty much screwed. He better hope old age catches up with him before the New York Attorney General does. So Robert Mueller concluded that there's not enough evidence to file charges that Trump or any of his campaign aides conspired with the Russian government. I think that was Mueller just being really damn nice and opening it up so that they could hang themselves at a later date. Now, with this report, Trump's running around the country saying he's been exonerated. Is that the case? Well, some says, yeah, sure it's the case. But does that mean he was telling the truth when he said that no collusion? I don't think so. I don't think so. It's more to that story. You see, Trump's going to throw all kind of crap against the wall now. You see, now that this Mueller report has come out, and the Democrats are just saying, you know what, let the horses out the barn. Start subpoenaing bastards all over the place, which it's about time. All this friendliness is far gone fantasy. It's times past. Listen, this is what's up. Trump has revived his caravan crisis. So now he wants to make a terrible problem worse. How can anybody do that, now that I think about it? I mean, what is the superlative for worse than terrible? Is there a superlative that's worse than terrible? Oh, well, you might ask Donald Trump. What did he say? He'd say it's horrible. Well, horrible is not worse than terrible. And they do sound like Donald Trump words, don't they? Well, Trump is thrusting his hardline posture on immigration. He's back on that. And then he announced last Friday that he may just close the border. And he said it like, oh, I can do whatever the hell I want to do. You know what? It's not going to be that damn easy. And he's renewed this threat to shut down the border. He said it before. But even administration officials and congressional Republicans, they were bewildered. They were trying to guess his next move as he defines this sorry-ass presidency. Some of these Republicans warned that any of these dramatic attempts, and I call them attempts, to disrupt the regular traffic across the U.S.-Mexico border could bring Trump into a new confrontation with his own party, those cowards. And they warned that the closing of parts or all of the border would wreck the economy. Now, that's something that Republicans and conservatives listen to. All they listen to is a dollar bill. How do you think all those convictions came out of the Mueller report? The people only did the dumbest ass things they could do because they wanted to get rich like Trump. Department of Homeland Security announced their plans to require that greater numbers of non-Mexican asylum seekers stay in Mexico while they wait for their cases to be resolved, and to speed up reassignment of 750 customs officers to process arriving immigrants. Well, that's their damn job. And here's the deal. America, if indeed it shuts down the border, and Trump's threatening Mexico, if I was Mexico, you know what I'd tell them about shutting down the border? I'd say, well, shut it down then. What's wrong? Your shutter broke? This is why. American companies, they need the products that are coming from Mexico. They get them cheap, and even American companies are located in Mexico and got to get their products across the border. You see, what Trump is saying to all of America is a bunch of bull. It's garbage. It's nothing but scare tactics to please his base. And for anybody who talks about give Donald Trump a chance to be president, this is what I say to you. Eat those words and let them run out your bowels. Here's the deal. he's already had his chance and he's shown you who he is. And I always say this, if someone tells you who they are, don't ignore them. If someone shows you who they are, believe them. You see, this whole deal about closing the border, understand this. 40% of all U.S. vegetables come from Mexico. Trump knows this. Well, no, actually he doesn't know anything. All he knows is what he's believing in his head, hearing in his ears. And I don't even think he believes what he's seeing out of his eyes, because he sees things that no one else can see. And most of it's pretty idiotic. The Chamber of Commerce talked about his proposed action. They called it an unmitigated debacle. And that pretty much describes Trump's whole presidency as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, while Trump's trying to get you off of, and the Democrats, off of his ass regarding the Mueller investigation, because although Mueller's part's over, the rest of the country's ain't. And I'm glad these freshman Democrats who are not walking the status quo. They're not towing the line of the party. You see, Trump's got all kinds of stuff coming. The economy's about to recess. Gas prices are rising. Matter of fact, right now, gas prices in California are an average of $3.61 a gallon. So you see if Donald Trump takes credit for that. Or does he blame Obama? See, that's why he's coming after the Affordable Care Act. You see, his base is what he seems to care about. I think after his tariffs, that have been a disaster. Let me use his word. The tariffs have been a disaster after an economy, like I said, is about to shut down on it, close up. And so many of those people who voted for him, believing he was going to bring back coal jobs and open up factories, well, guess what? I don't care how racist they are, how biased they are, how prejudiced they are, how bigoted they are. They cannot deny the fact that everything that Donald Trump touches turns into an illness. And no one likes, and I'm using this as a noun, no one likes President Illness. This is socially speaking.
Red Media.